My dear friends, my dear masters and my dear gods, a great good morning to all of you. Friends, today we will discuss about the spiritual science uniting every one of us, removing barriers between each of us. The truth is that we are all one. Law of oneness is preached and taught by spiritual science. When we understand what we are, then naturally we will understand each and every one of us is nothing but the same. There is no difference between any of us. For instance, we have to analyze between I and you. We have to analyze the meanings between these two words. This is called analysis of I and you. In fact, PSS Academy has brought out this exclusive, important topic in their courses, so that the humanity is benefited with the in-depth meaning, inherent meaning towards oneness of the whole universe. Friends, we are using the word I under the impression that it denotifies, it stands for my name, my personality, and my work. That's what everybody thinks. So is the case with you. When we address you, the person who is addressed thinks that I am addressing his physical body, his name, and his personality, and his work. This is the normally meaning that we understand in society as on today. But the correct meanings are different. The word I is not for the name, nor for the physical body, not for your work. Why? Because everybody is using I, though everybody has different names, different personalities, and different works they are doing. How far it is correct to attribute I to all of us? It is not correct. So, I denotes not the names, in fact. There is something inherent meaning in that. The spiritual science says I is the word standing for not your physical entity. You are not the physical body. Okay? It does not indicate about your activities or work, because they are bound to be different from person to person. But all persons are using the same word I. So normally there should be something, a different meaning for this. It can neither be, it cannot be the name. So is the case with you. When I address you, you think that I am addressing your personality, individuality, name, your work, and etc. etc. They are all physical. So we think that I stands for some physical body or entity in us. That is what common man also understands, and it is throughout the society. Throughout society it is like that. But if you refer to the spiritual science texts, the meaning is different. If you refer to the dictionary of English to see the meaning of the English word I, you will find one of the meanings given in that refers to self-consciousness. My dear masters, kindly understand that. I means consciousness in us, not the name, not the physical body, not any account of our activities and all those things. So I stands for only consciousness. So consciousness is in everyone. Fine. And there is no problem for everyone to use this word because everybody has got that consciousness. Then it represents the truth prevailing in all human beings. So I is consciousness. That is the meaning we should understand. Similarly, you also stands for consciousness in you. It is not for any physicality. It is not for any name or physical body, etc., etc. When I address you by the word you, it shows that I am addressing your consciousness, not by your name. So I stands for consciousness and you stands for consciousness. Every one of us has consciousness. Consciousness is named as energy in us, awareness, spirit, self. Understand? These are the names, different names are there for the same word, consciousness. And in Sanskrit it is called Atma. So I is equal to Atma, I is equal to self, you can understand. I is equal to spirit, I is equal to energy, I is equal to consciousness. Understand? On top of this, if I is for consciousness, it stands for consciousness. That means I is acting as a pronoun. In place of consciousness, we are using I. So when I is a pronoun, what is the noun form of that? We have to understand. So that noun form is consciousness because it stands for only noun of consciousness, or it stands for your energy, or it stands for self. So I is equal to self. So that information we can gather when we analyze the meanings of I. And the similar way when we go with you also is a pronoun, it is not a noun form. So you is a pronoun standing for yourself. Okay, you have self, The self is called consciousness, named otherwise as spirit, energy, whatever it is. So all these are the names for representing you. Understand? So you is yourself. I is myself. So this is clear. But in both the cases, self is same. I is equal to self, you is equal to self. So it's a common thing between both of us is self. And there is no difference. So that goes to say I is equal to you, because self is equal to self. He is pronoun, it is not a noun form. So he stands for, it's a noun form. What is the noun form of he? Noun form of he is his self or himself. Okay. This is the noun form of he. Or she. She is equal to herself. Because the noun form of she is herself. Noun form of he is equal to himself. So these are all living beings and moving things. I, you, he and she. Then what about the non-moving objects? Say, take for instance a chair. So what is the noun form of that? We call it is a chair, we say. It is a pronoun, it is not a noun form. It stands for a chair. So it is standing for chair, isn't it? So what is the noun form of if it, because everywhere conscious is there, even in moving or non-moving objects also. That is universally accepted truth. So when once that consciousness is there in the non-moving bodies also, so that it represents its own self. So it is for itself, he is for himself, she is for herself, I is for myself, and you is for yourself. So what is the common factor here is only self is there. Everybody is representing only self. Self is consciousness, awareness. That is the energy body in you, and that is existent in every species here. So that is how we have to arrive that we are all made up of consciousness and we are all one. Okay? We are not differently made. No, we are made up of only one substance, that is called consciousness. So we are all one. In the spiritual scriptures, we find ample explanation. See, in Yajurveda it says that Aham Brahmasmi. Oh, Aham is I in English, yes or no? Aham means I. I is Brahman. Brahma stands for consciousness. Understand? I is consciousness, it says. And Samaveda says, Tattvamasi. Oh, you are also made up of the same thing, Baba. You are also that. Tat Tvam Asi. Whatever I is representing, the same thing is belonging to you also. And you are also that itself. You are not different. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the dictum from Yajurveda. So this amply explains that I is consciousness. What is Brahman? Brahman is the creator. So the whole universe is running because of that. So we are all forming part of the whole universe, and we are all running, we are all working only by the capacity of consciousness. So Aham is equal to that consciousness which is cause for every movement in this universe. Functioning of the universe is only the handiwork of consciousness, and Aham is that, I is that. So we have to understand I is consciousness, Aham Brahman. Tattvamasi, you are also that. So you are not different from that, you are also consciousness. So there is no difference between you and I. That's what says. And what about the third person? What about him? And Upanishad says, Soham. See, what is the meaning of Soham? Saha Aham. See, he is I. Aham means I. Saha means he. He is I. He is not a different personality. He is nobody other than me. So we have to identify every person is only made up of same consciousness. So Soham means he is I. He is also myself. He also is a self, also is like myself. Soham. Okay. Then what about the non-moving things? That also is explained as Om Tat Sat. Tat Sat, even that also is same thing. So ultimately what happens? Sarvam Khal Vidam Brahman. Oh, everything is a handiwork of the same consciousness. We are all the handiwork of the same consciousness. The whole universe is working at the instance of same consciousness. And by this analysis, we understand when I say I, it is not my body, it is not my name, but actually it is the energy system in me. So I is myself, you is yourself. When once we understand this, and we will definitely dissolve all the differences or the barrier between you and I. Otherwise people are shouting each other. So why should I speak to you? Why should I excuse you? What business I have got with you? So these are all the things, we differentiate ourselves. We never think that we are all one. When we think that we are all one, there arises the love factor. We tend to love everybody because we are all same. Whatever you are, I am also that. So we are all one. So there will be coexistence among us. That means we have to live together. This is called togetherness. Togetherness is somehow, it is also defined as love. When we are able to love everybody, we will remain together. When we cannot love somebody, then we will depart. So my dear friends, in order to be united, in order to have coexistence, in order to have togetherness with us, we have to understand the true nature of our own existence. We are that. Aham Brahman. Tattvamasi, you are also that. Okay. So, Sarvam Khal Vidam Brahman, everything is filled up with the same consciousness. There is nothing other than consciousness in this physical world. But they are embodied in the physical objects. The same consciousness is in human being in the shape of energy, and the same consciousness in the non-moving things also. They are there in the objective natures also in the form of electrons. Electron in the object is equivalent to Atma in moving object. So, we have the topic of subject of electronics. Why? Because it is a very, very important. It is a life system of all objective things. Similarly, Atma is the life system in human beings and all other species also. So, we should understand both. So, we are all one. At the end, we have to understand that we are all one, and there is no necessity that to think that we are different from each other. When once we are one, normally a sort of cooperative mode, working together, loving factors, becoming friendly, no hating, and working with hand to hand. That is all possible. So that is called Vasudha eva eka kutumbam. That's what people say. In Upanishad says, the whole universe is one single family, because everywhere the same self is working. Everywhere the same consciousness is working. And we are all made up of the same consciousness. So, my dear masters, so with this, we have to understand that we should not have any kind of differences among us, either in the house, in the market, or elsewhere. Whether a known people or unknown people, there is no, there is nothing that kind of wrong opinions. We should feel that we are all one. Only different bodies will be there. Bodies are different for everybody. That's why we are thinking we are different. But spiritual science says we are not the physical bodies. We are the inner beings. And for the matter, we cannot see anybody inside, because we are seeing the person is inside. Externally, we are seeing only his physical body. We cannot speak with the physical body. We are speaking with the inner body. Inner body is containing 19 parts with the mind, Pancha Pranas, Pancha Indriyas, Dasha Indriyas in fact, Gnana Indriyas 5, Karma Indriyas 5. Okay. And consisting of the in charge of the body, which is called mind, with 4 departments. One is thinking, understanding, ego, and then memory. So all put together, we have 19 parts in that, and in fact, we are only that invisible astral body. So nobody can see the astral body of anyone. What we are seeing only the physical nature of the personality. We cannot understand him by seeing the physical body. Everything he thinks inside. And when once he speaks, we can understand him. By seeing mere, the physical body, we cannot estimate anybody. Why? Because they are not the physical bodies. They are all inner energy system. And both the bodies are driven by the consciousness. Kindly understand that. That consciousness is named as Atma. Okay. So, the core content of every human being, every object is the consciousness called Atma in Sanskrit. Okay. So, with this, my dear friends, we wish that everybody, every one of us live together without any kind of disparities, without any kind of ill treatment, without any kind of complaints, comments, without disregarding anybody, with all equal respect. We extend everybody, treat as a friend, love everyone, and don't find fault with anybody, and live a happy and united family, as a one single family, Vasudhaiva Eka Kutumbakam. Okay. So with this, thank you very much. I conclude my talks with this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.